Welcome and thanks for joining me right here on the channel. The solution is you. Wherever you may be, I hope that you are having a blast. Life is too short not to enjoy it, so I hope that you are making the best out of your day. Now, if you enjoyed the content, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. With that, let me go ahead and get into today's subject. Now, the topic of today, 6 scenarios that will rub you the wrong way. There are a lot of things in life that rubs us the wrong way. A lot of things that we dislike about maybe how something is being handled. It could be with customer service. It could be with a friend. There may be some agreement that you had with a relative that they have broken, and now things have soured between you two. I mean, there are so many things in life that rubs us the wrong way. And I thought I'd just go ahead and just go over a few of them. So now, let me start with number 6, breakdown blues. So for you who have vehicles, and especially if you're making monthly payments, there's a lot of money coming out of your pocket. So you want to make sure that you're staying ahead of your expenses and that your car stays on the road. And you could be in a situation where maybe you just got paid. And so you're taking your car to the shop, and not because anything is wrong with it, but you just want to get as many things done to it to keep it out on the road as you can. So with the money you've just been paid with, you're going and getting the brakes done, and you're having your battery replaced, and maybe you're getting a flush done on your coolant. So now that has cost you several $100s. So now you're back on the road and you're driving. Maybe you have to go out of town or something. Maybe it's going to take you 2 or 3 hours just to go out of town, and you're on the road, and all of a sudden your car stalls out on you and you can't get it started. And you determine that the fuel pump has went out. Now that's going to cost you about another $400 or $500 depending on the vehicle. So how many of you have experienced this where you're trying to stay ahead of the game with your vehicle, and you're putting all your money into parts and label things that you may feel that could go wrong with your vehicle? Maybe it's the service interval to get something done or changed, and you've decided to go ahead and get proactive and take care of it. Then something out of left field hits you with your car. It always happens, especially if you are in a state that requires annual state inspections for your emissions. And let's say your emissions check is in 2 weeks, and you've been rolling all year, no problems, just minimal maintenance. And now in 2 weeks, you gotta go in and you gotta pass this inspection, because if you don't pass inspection, you don't get your registration, and therefore you can't roll legally out on the road. So about a week and a half from your inspection, your check engine light comes on. Any of you experienced this, where everything was fine with your car, and as soon as you have to take it in for inspection, maybe a week out, sometimes it could be about a month away, your check engine light comes on. And now you have to cough up another five, six, seven, $800 to get whatever it is fixed so that you can pass inspection. That check engine light will get you every time. Now, number 5, the runaround. And I think a lot of us have experienced this, especially with customer service. So let's say you just got signing up for internet service, new internet service, and you were promised a 50% discount for the first 6 months. Now, you've had the service for about a month, and you get your second bill, and your bill is way more than it's supposed to be. So you're about $100 more than what's needed. So now you're going and you're calling customer service to let them know that when you signed up, you were promised to get 50% off. But No one sees anything in the system. There's no notes about this. Obviously, there wasn't a code to detect the 50% that you was initially supposed to have. That's not in place. So now they placing you on hold. And usually when we get on these calls, we already know what to expect. So we already have our attitudes in check. But they place you on hold, and after about 15 minutes, the line disconnects. So now you call back in, you go through the automated system, somebody else picks up the phone. And as soon as they pick up the phone, they say, oh, I see you were talking to such and such. Hold on, let me get you back over to them. Before you can say anything, now they done transferred you over to the original person that you lost connection with. And somehow they're not answering the phone. So now the phone hangs up, you call back in, now you get somebody else, they're going to attempt to help you. They don't know what's going on. They don't see anything in the system. How many of you have had the runaround? Now you're starting to get upset. Maybe you have somewhere to go within the next 10 minutes and you don't have a lot of time to be going back and forth with something that should have been taken care of weeks ago. So you get the manager involved, the manager comes on, they don't see anything. So now they're going to back up the company and say, well, we don't see anything here. So, there's nothing that I can do. How many times you've been in this situation where you were told one thing, maybe they got it on recording, but now they can't find the recording. They putting the onus on you, asking you who you talked to, what time did you talk to them, what day did you speak with them. This runaround, that will make you want to actually go up there to see what's really going on and get some act right. So number 4, first time foolery. So this is a situation where you go over someone's house and they're anxious to fix you a meal. So this is a person who they're using you as an experiment with one of their dishes, and they're going to prepare a meal. This is their first time preparing it, and they're anxious to get this dish over to you so that you can taste it. And perhaps this first dish is some meatloaf. So now, when they said that this was their first time, that raised a red flag for you. So now you're sitting at the table, they breaking out the meatloaf, and the meatloaf is smelling good. Now, I don't know about you, but I love meatloaf. Especially I can put some type of sauce on it, maybe some ketchup or something like that. But the meatloaf is smelling good, and you sit down, and you know how it is when someone is fixing you something for the first time. They're wanting to get your reaction. They want to see what your facial expressions is. So now they give you the meatloaf, and you cut into the meatloaf. It appears to be tender. The smoke is rising off of the meatloaf. And when you put the meatloaf in your mouth, it's tasting like dog food. Now your sense of smell is connected with your sense of taste. So usually a lot of things taste the way they smell. And in this situation, you were totally caught off guard by the great smell of the meat coming out of the oven and everything. But when you tasted this meatloaf, it tasted just like you could expect dog food to taste. So now you don't know whether to just spit it out right there or to hurt the person's feelings. How many of you have been in this scenario where you have to play it off? Maybe it's something that your friend or somebody that you're close to was very excited about something that they learned, a new dish or something, and they want to get this dish over to you to see if you enjoyed it. And maybe they are telling you that somebody else they gave the dish to really enjoyed it, so they're really pumping it up. So when you get ready to get a bite, you go all in. So you don't even take like a small piece. You go all in and get a whole mouthful, and it's tasting just like dog food. Man, you got to be careful about the first time foolery. This could also be a situation where you're at a potluck. At these potlucks, It's the luck of the draw. So this could be one of your coworkers who has bought in some fish. Some people just don't know any better. So they come with the fish and they put the fish in the microwave and light the whole floor up. So you have to really be careful when you're at these potlucks. Now, number 3 is straight face scheming. So this is one of your relatives. It could be a friend, but let's say it's a relative. Now, this is a relative that is always going through tough times. We all know someone like this. Every time you turn around, the car got repoed. They just got put out. They were in a fight with their significant other. Significant other put them out. They got laid off from their job for the 3rd time. So this is a relative that comes to you and asks you to borrow $100. This happens a lot. There's a lot of people out here who are having rough times. But we all know of that one relative that always comes to you and asks for money. So it's never like $10, $15. It's $100. And usually they'll have a story that's going to reinforce the reason why you need to give them this money. That they had just lost a job and they're about to get another one. All they need is $100 to maybe get them an outfit to get to the interview. The interview is going to be in 3 days. So they're making it seem urgent. So it's, you have to come up with this money and give it to them, or else the reason why they didn't get the job could be because you didn't help them out. So you give them $100 just believing that it's the right thing to do. And besides, this is your relative. So you want to make sure that they're good and that they have an opportunity to make things whole and to get back on track. So they go in and they don't get the job, and they have maybe another interview set up and don't make the interview for some reason. And about 2 weeks later, after they've already promised to pay this money back to you, they show right back up to your doorstep, looking right at you as if this is their first time seeing you or asking for something, and ask you for another $100. You ever had someone do this to you, looking straight at you as if they never borrowed anything from you, knowing they just got $100 from you 2 weeks earlier, and now 2 weeks later they're asking you again for $100? So this could definitely rub you the wrong way. Number 2, talking and telling. Now, I know all of us have experienced something like this, especially at the job. At the job, this is supposed to be a place where you're going and handling business, and you're trading in your time and the effort for money. But when you're on the clock, there's always that one person that is talking too much, especially if it's a guy. Women are used to talking a lot and laughing and giggling. But when you have a guy on the job that's from the time that you clock in, he's laughing and giggling and telling jokes and talking. You know the type I'm talking about. When you in between calls or something that you got going on, you look around at this person and they just looking for somebody to talk to. So you trying to keep your head down, hoping that they don't talk to you. This is the person that is talking 24/7. They never be quiet. Now, I always say that it seems like they have a position at these jobs that is specifically for people who talk too much, because every job that you go to has a person like this. And it's so common that whenever you go to a different job, you're looking for this person, this position that should have been filled, because you know somebody has taken this position. It never lets you down. There's always some guy that's running his mouth. And guys, we are known for being poised and being strategic and doing a lot of self-reflecting and thinking before we say certain things. And, it's the whole power dynamic of not saying something if you don't have anything good to say. So silence is best, but you always have at least that one person talking too much, just talking about any and everything, running their mouth. This may be the person that the manager has to tell them to get back to work. This is the person coming back from lunch late. This may be also be the person who hardly comes to work on time. I mean, this happens almost at every job. The one guy who just never be quiet. So, you just have to find a way to pinpoint who this person is at whatever job that you're at. Try to stay far away from them. Now, number one, in the 6 scenarios that will rub you the wrong way. Rib dinner rendezvous. So this could be a situation where you're going over to your friend's house or something and you're going to have a barbecue rib dinner. And you know how ribs are, especially when they falling off the bone. Barbecue sauce. Oh, it's on. Let's say you have some barbecue baked beans, potato salad. Maybe you have some dessert to go with it. Maybe you got some lemonade. I'm always down to eat some great ribs. I know a lot of you out there love barbecue. Smoked sausage links and all sort chicken, barbecue chicken, ribs. Man, it's nothing like some delicious ribs, especially when they falling off the bone. But let's say you went over this friend's house and you're gonna have a great dinner. So now you're at the house and they're telling you that dinner's ready. So now you're going in and you're washing up your hands. You can smell the wonderful flavor of barbecue throughout the house. So now you're washing your hands, you're scrubbing your hands real good. And you know how that is when you're smelling some great food, your stomach starts to rumble because now you're super hungry. Maybe you went without eating on purpose earlier just so that you can take in all of this great food. So now you've washed your hands, you've dried them, and you're at the table, and your friend is at the table. Maybe there's a couple of other people, maybe some of his relatives, and you're looking at the food. The food is looking delicious, and you're getting your silverware ready, and you take a bite of your ribs. Now you got your fork, and you stick your fork in your potato salad, and as soon as you lift it up to take a bite, you see a long string of hair. Now, who's been in this situation where maybe you were over a relative's house or over your friend's house trying to get you a nice meal, and you're about to take a bite and there's a long string of hair in your food? This really could rub you the wrong way when someone is walking around with maybe their hair dangling, trying to fix food. Maybe they didn't pin their hair back, or maybe they have a long braids or something that's hanging down while they're fixing some dressing, or they fixing some potato salad, or maybe they got some barbecue sauce that they're stirring up and some of the hair drips down in the barbecue sauce. Now they're trying to serve this to you. The next time you go over for one of these meals, make sure you do a thorough inspection. If not, you could be rubbed the wrong way. I thank you for listening to me today. Please understand that the solution is you. With that, have a great day.